Okay, so Booleans are great, but they can yield unideal topology. The other kind of scenario where you'll see topology that isn't the greatest is like this. So here is a ring model I had to work with months, and it came from a CAD program called Rhino. So at first glance, it looks perfect, like perfect normals and everything. But the thing is, like for jewelry or anything, you want bevels and rounded things and just beautiful kind of transitions from one face to another. So when I hit 3, which is going to take a while, when I hit 3, it looks awful, right? All splotchy and terrible. And also, like the ring itself, it has a lot of detail for how smooth it is. So it's heavier than it needs to be, and the transitions look awful. So that means we need to retopologize this. Use the positions of this, but make nicer layouts and faces. So there's 2 ways to do that. The first is a manual method. So what you do is you select whatever you want to retopologize, and you make it a live surface. Okay, so now our ring is live. Then we go to the modeling toolkit, all right, which is awesome. What we're looking for is the quad draw tool. And if we go to the quad draw tool, there's all these shortcuts. You could basically, spend a lot of time in here. And some people, their job is to retopologize models from ZBrush or CAD models. There are some shops that kind of specialize in this that we could subcontract out. But basically what you do is you make 4 points, and you'll see they're automatically, wherever I draw them, they're going to automatically stick to that underlying base. And then I hit Shift, and it makes a polygon, right? And I can adjust the position of my points. I can hit Control and insert an edge loop. I can hit Tab to extrude, which is cool. Where were we? Control. And then if I just hold down Shift, it'll relax the geometry. So it'll try to even out the faces to make nicer quads. And this is like kind of a whole art in itself, actually. Retopologizing and kind of getting the mesh in shape and figuring out like how to get the edges to flow. And all I can say about that is it's good to start really broad, not fine detail. Work out the big faces. So, for something like this whole little nub, I might just like kind of go over the whole thing with just 2 faces for now. And subdivide it into something else later, once I kind of figure out how many faces I need over here, right? And you want to use the least number of faces possible, because it'll be smoother and faster and easier to manipulate. All right, and I've included another video in Notion of somebody retopologizing a ZBrush mess, where they talk a little bit more in depth about all the functionality of this tool. But that's basically the thing. You set a live circus. You can draw points. If you shift, you can fill them in. If you shift over points that already exist, you can relax. You can tab and drag lines out, right? You can, if you drag two things over each other, they're going to connect. It's a fantastic tool. So I want to say one other thing about this. So object mode, and get out of this tool and see it made a nice mesh for us. Right. Delete it. So let's just look at something really quick. So what if I made a disk and I had to retopologize this? How would I do it? So one thing to think about when you're retopologizing stuff, and I'll make this disk live. All right, go to my quadro tool. Is you want the quads to kind of follow the direction of the shape. So a situation that's kind of tricky, or one to kind of look out for, is like let's say this part of the circle here, this part of the disk. Up until this point, you might try to do something like this. Nice even squares. But if we look at it, the way the edges are flowing doesn't actually follow the contour of the disk. We couldn't necessarily just insert a bevel around this outside edge. And then this polygon here is a little distorted. So one kind of shape to have in your arsenal is this. And you'll see this a lot around like curves and stuff. So basically the polygons meet in a triangle kind of shape like this. And here I'll do this whole thing. Just drawing out where I want the points to go. And I can just hold down Shift, and I'll paint them together. All right, and then now that they're created, I can hit Shift again and just kind of relax and even these out and adjust the points and all that good stuff. But now the difference between the other configuration is it's matching the contour of the circle. So if I was to hold down Control and insert an edge loop, that edge loop is following the circumference or the outer silhouette of the ring, right? So this kind of polygon configuration is something to be on the lookout for in situations where the direction changes. So if I go back to the ring, all this, and look at what I did. So that hide diamonds and do wireframe unshaded. A lot of love went into this, right? And you see like the edges fall. It's this lowest number of faces. All the edge loops kind of match the flow of the geometry, but flow across and into each other. And this, this is a lot of work. This is, I don't know how many hours, but at least 24. All right.